Steve Robbins here. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Kent wrote in, asking whether Twitter is a productivity tool. Would you please do a future podcast on the effective and efficient use of Twitter? I've been under the impression that Twitter is just a time waster. However, after learning that you are on Twitter, I realized that I must be missing something. The quick and dirty tip is to follow people with content you want, and to do outbound tweeting only if you know why you're doing it. I am Get It Done Guy on Twitter, but just because I tweet doesn't mean you should. Given all the Twitter hype, let me share my Twitter experience. From the media hype, you'd think broadcasting on Twitter is like being Mick Jagger, Madonna, or Britney Spears in concert, only without the lips, the pointy brows, or the nervous breakdowns, respectively. You compose your 140-character literary masterpiece, tweet it out, and your hordes of followers, who do nothing with their lives except wait to hear your words of wisdom, eagerly devour every bit. Pun intentional. The reality is a bit less sexy. It's kind of like writing on the world's biggest bathroom wall, only one that anyone can read, even your parents. If that isn't terrifying enough, your tweets stick around forever, so that one-time drunken indiscretion, well, let's just say what happens in Vegas stays in your Twitter update stream forever unless you remember to delete it by hand. And given the circumstances, you probably won't remember to delete it. When you follow a Twitterer, you see their updates on your Twitter homepage, or you get the updates as text messages on your cell phone. I started for the friends. I followed my friends and they followed back. Joel would tweet, "Sipping Mocha Grande while waiting in line to see Snow White and the 7 vertically challenged laborers." I'd seen it the week before, so I called and we had a great conversation. With Twitter, you get a glimpse into people's lives. If you've ever lived in a dorm or fraternity, you'll know the feeling. For example, you'll know Bernice just ran out of laundry detergent and felt strongly enough to tweet about it. Something you most likely never would have known in the pre-Twitter world. It's those small things that bring you closer, just like living in a dorm, only without the smell of dirty socks. These days, many people tweet to share articles, opinions, and tips related to their industry or business. Follow those Twitterers for good information. One of my favorites is Chris Brogan, who I met on Twitter. These days, you can also follow companies, and they tweet links to coupons and marketing giveaways, blah, 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 blah. Personally, I get enough marketing. I follow friends and people with good content. Marketers can look elsewhere. Some celebrities have Twitter accounts. My guess is their PR people write their tweets, so I wouldn't bother following them. But if any celebrities are listening and want to dispute this point, email getitdoneguy@quickanddirtytips.com and we'll do a special podcast where you can tell your side of the story. Yes, Rachel Maddow, this means you. You can follow people from your cell phone by texting follow and then their Twitter name to 40404. Their updates get sent to your cell phone as text messages. You can also follow someone through twitter.com, and their updates won't go to your cell phone but will appear on your Twitter homepage. Be selective in whom you follow. I used to follow everyone who follows me. Bad idea. Eventually, I was following 1,000 people and couldn't keep up. These days, I only read tweets that are explicitly directed at me. If I could turn back time, I would follow only a few dozen people at most, because there just aren't enough hours in the day to keep up with more. So originally I tweeted to keep in touch with friends. That was fun and personal. Then I started asking Get It Done Guy listeners to follow me, and Twitter became a way to have a conversation with my listeners, answer quick questions, provide, quote unquote, micro value. Since starting my book, it's also been a great way to ask my audience to answer questions on my blog that are influencing how the book develops. My goal is to build an audience who knows and respects my work enough to help me build a media career. I still tweet personal things, so people get a glimpse of the me behind the podcast. I also tweet tips and observations on life that I hope get people thinking. Twitter gives me a way to interact one-on-one, even when my audience is large, and that's just neat. If you decide to tweet, you've become a broadcaster. What's your goal and who's your audience? Tweeting to stay in touch with friends is very different from tweeting to build a podcast following. Decide what content you'll share. You can give people a peek into your life and offer advice, insight, article recommendations, inane puns, humorous quotes, or a short critique of every person you meet at your local speed dating event. Limit your tweets to 3 to 4 per day, or you'll overwhelm people. When following, follow people whose content you value, like me. Only follow as many people as you want to keep up with. To get started, follow Get It Done Guy. If you send a tweet that starts with the @ like @ Get It Done Guy, I'll see it within a few days and reply if I can. This is Steve Robbins. Work less, do more, and have a great life.